Testing, testing. Testing, testing. Okay, I can confirm I am live. So, welcome back everybody to another live stream. I am Talon Darkart. The game of the day is, well, the game of right now, because in a few hours I do have to go pick my wife up from work. So, I can't necessarily say that I will be playing this later. However, I can say I will be up later and I will be playing. This is Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. So today I'm going to take you all down the rabbit hole of, just a continuation of what I've been going through. Just situationally having to live with other people has taken a major toll on myself as well as my family. And there's a lot of bullshit that I've been cutting through and just rising above and, just genuinely getting through. We'll just park it there because my patience has pretty much expired. So I'm just sick of the talking behind my back, having to overhear the bullshit. I work my ass off every day. I don't have anybody really genuinely helping me. I mean, to be totally honest, my wife is the only one, and I'm blessed to have her, but, when we go out of our way to try to do things to be helpful, and no matter what we do, no matter how hard we try, it's one of the reasons that living with people is so damn difficult. People will just look for flaws. They'll create the flaws. They'll create an issue. We're very helpful in a lot of aspects in our situation. It's not a one-way street by any means, where we're taking and being the only ones coming out ahead. Sure, I'm paying my debts, but I'm also paying bills that I don't exactly create. So, it is one hand washing the other. However, everything that goes wrong when you're in a situation like this, well, hey, guess what? You're the variable. You're the one that doesn't truly belong here. That's why we made poor financial decisions, and now we're so far behind that we've got to do what we've got to do to get back ahead. And nobody wants to work, and it's very illogical. And I'm personally just tired of the blame game bullshit, because I'm going to work every fucking day. I'm working overtime as I can, as it comes. Went through quite a dry spell there for a bit as far as being able to work overtime, just because it wasn't made available. So
hostile sentry turret active.
I'm going out of my way to do my best, and that's all that I can do. And if people don't want to respect that, don't want to acknowledge it, then hey, fine. I don't need approval. I'm not out here seeking somebody else's stamp. To be perfectly clear. I'm gonna work my ass off for my family, for our benefit, save up, get the fuck out of here. That's been the goal since before we even got here. That was why I agreed to pack up and leave the other state and come back. You know, I knew better, but you know, the family wants what the family wants, and they say happy wife, happy life. You know, I disagree with that entirely, but that is the analogy, and that's the analogy for a reason. You know, I will never speak against that because that's been my experience. You know, poor decisions are made typically out of feverish decisions. And feverish decisions are usually made by women who have ultimatums. You know, they have these desires and they want things to happen their way, and they don't want to put in the work for it. And then you end up putting in all the work and telling them, hey, this isn't going to work, didn't work last time. And now here we are in the same fucking boat. Can't do a goddamn thing without somebody having something to say about it. Trying to tell you that you're not struggling hard enough, or they've struggled comparable to you, and in reality, no, they haven't. They don't know what the struggle of 2022 is. Their struggle occurred in 1980 what?
Don't do it for me. Get the win for Uncle Sam.
Throwing frag.
Enemy spy plane inbound.
You know, I'm through with it because there's so much more to it. You know, just talking behind the back, fucking
Bring this home.
creating issues with other family members.
Hostile spy plane established overhead. Multiple hostile spy planes detected. Pull the damn plug.
Beautiful.
Conflict and move to exfil.
They must have known we were coming.
Yeah, it did shitty. It's been a hot minute since I've played, everybody. You guys know when I last streamed. But no, I just personally, I'm at the point where I cannot fucking wait to get the fuck out of here at any means necessary. I've gotten to the point where there's a neighbor who has a piece of land, and that land has a lien on it, but I'm about to not give a fuck and buy that piece of land off him and just get a travel trailer, and all four of us live in a fucking whatever I can afford size travel trailer very uncomfortably, because I personally don't give a fuck anymore. I just want peace. That's it. I want peace. I need to be able to pay my debts and save my money. And the only way to do that is to have somewhere like fucking homeless camp without being on a homeless camp. And if I own the fucking land and I drop a trailer on it, well, I will fence that bitch off and demand the privacy that I deserve. And there ain't a goddamn thing that any of them will be able to do about it. So, it is what it is. But, I don't know. I'm exhausted dealing with it. I'm exhausted thinking about it. Personally, I think that's probably the route I'm going to end up going. You know, I've made the point numerous times that the work that I do is going to demand me to have direct access to a vehicle pretty much all the time. And
Dad, may I have ice cream from chocolate cone from black one? Say yes, yes, yes.
what?
You want some ice cream?
I don't know.
You want ice cream? Yeah.
Whose ice cream?
Papa
Ice
Graham bought ice
cream.
cream.
All right, go have ice cream. So, sorry. They're the whole reason that I work as hard as I do. You know, I work in a very, very difficult industry. It's actually one of the industries with the highest exposure to risk. You know, comparable to that of military and law enforcement. Not for the same reasons, but for the same severity of situational awareness and hazard recognition. Um, it's extremely crucial. You know, not everybody is cut out to do what I'm doing. Not to toot my own horn, I'm not that kind of person, but you know, I've got enough struggle going on
Domination.
that I don't.
Taking Bravo. He's done.
I'm on the objective. Neutralized.
I don't feel it's necessary
Bravo locked down.
to go out of my way every day
Taking Alpha. Enemy has C.
proving to people
Help me take this objective.
that
A locked down.
I'm worth my weight, you know? Or that I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, or what was originally agreed upon.
Losing Alpha.
Well, you know, again, they want to run out and spend frivolously and create issues.
Taking Charlie.
Check my six.
Help me take this objective.
We lost A.
It's not my place to say. It's not my concern at all. My job is to take care of my family. That's what I do without falter.
Securing Alpha. Losing Charlie. Enemy has Charlie.
Capturing objective Estat.
Alpha locked down.
Enemy down.
Losing A.
Throwing frag.
Enemy took Alpha. Securing C.
Fire, pendejo.
Charlie locked down. Driving RTX. Securing A.
Neutralize him.
I don't know. I wish people would stop and think.
Losing Bravo.
You know, I made it very clear before I agreed to this situation that we had to make sacrifices in order to
Fire, pendejo.
Location secure.
to
Maintain
get
current posture.
to where we need to be,
Losing C.
both financially and strategically.
Losing Alpha. Enemy
You
took
know,
C.
we live in a time where you just cannot afford to rent anymore unless you're very rich. You know, you literally have to be rich to rent. What happened? What happened that we actually live in a day and an age where you have to be wealthy
All
to
locations
rent?
locked down. Dig in and hold them.
People used
We
to
lost Alpha.
rent before they would buy so they could save.
Securing
Now the idea of saving is a joke.
spy plane established
It,
overhead.
it's impossible.
Spy plane in
You
view.
will not
Rotating
save
check.
We are taking this objective.
Location secure.
while renting.
Maintain current posture.
All the armor available.
Losing Charlie.
The system is not designed for it.
Thanks for the work. Spy plane. It's not one yet. Keep it tight. Enemy took Charlie. Securing C.
Man, this is really just a... Let's keep swapping...
All locations locked down. Dig in and hold them.
Let's just keep
Enemy
swapping
spy plane inbound.
locations here.
Half time.
Alright, sweet. I'm starting out with a sentry turret. I'll take it. Damn, somebody 13 streaks. Beautiful. 14. Probably kept it going, too. Yeah, there they go. Man, fucking A, brother.
Switching rally points. Capture the objective. RCXD rolling. Taking Alpha. We're pulling ahead. Enemy has Charlie. Taking B. Enemy spy plane inbound. A lockdown. Bravo secure. Tackle. Target ordering auxiliary operation.
They're gone. Good move.
Taking Charlie. Losing A.
Checker fire, pendejo.
Location secure. Maintain current posture.
Female down. Que appears KIA. Target down.
Losing Charlie.
Spy plane standing by.
Hmm.
Losing A.
Oh, that was pretty beautiful, I'm not gonna lie.
We lost Charlie.
Throwing frag.
Securing Charlie. Losing Alpha. Enemy care package above.
Your
Enemy
sentry
took
turret has
A.
been destroyed.
Seed locked down. Losing C. Taking A. C-trap. Enemy attack helicopter above.
KIA.
Drop Sniper engaged.
All locations secure. Hold your position.
The armor available.
Losing A. It's as good as ours. Keep it tight and by the numbers. Enemy spy plane inbound.
Danny, spy plane.
Spetsnaz GRU, you have the party's gratitude.
And that, mi hermanos, is how we get it done.
Bro, you streaker. What gun is that? SFAR-1. So, I don't know, man. I can't really make it any more clear, if you will. Like, I was listening to a radio show the other day, and they were talking about the various incomes that are required in order to survive in a mid-class lifestyle that was comparable to, let's say, the 90s. Because everybody always thinks about the 90s as like the pinnacle of time. It was, you know, before the recession, economy was good. There was just things were working, you know. Families were able to survive on a single income still, as long as it was around that $50,000 mark. And that was then. That was in the 90s. You know. So families were able to survive around the $50,000 mark. Rent was $600. You know. Today, in the state I'm in, to survive comparable to the 90s, that $50,000 family would have to make $105,000 today. When you factor, and I mean, these are the analytics that came from professional accountants. I mean, people that really crunch the numbers, take into the consideration of all the various factors that are required for a functional family. Now that is family. It's a family of 4. You know, to live comfortably, have everything they need, bills are paid, little bits in the savings account. You know, they can go out and have meals at a restaurant. They can afford to go, you know, to a movie or rent movies or even buy movies, you know, DVD players. That was the thing that was going on back then. You know, and then come Christmas, kids would have PlayStations and Nintendos or Xboxes or what have you. To do that today, that's $105,000 a year value that these professionals, these accountants, these financial experts are saying. If you want to have any form of that level of comfort, something comparable, that's what you're looking at. You know, I mean, that being said alone should stop people and make them, you know, think about it. I mean, there's nothing more that can be said. We're living in a day and an age that it's rough. You know, I mean, and that's putting it lightly. It's worse than rough out there right now. Right now is not the time to be starting over. You know, and that's where I find myself. I'm literally starting over. And that's the factor that I pray people actually start to realize is, the amount of debt that I carried into 2022 or 2021 when I started paying. I haven't even been employed with my current employer for a whole year yet, and I've already paid off about $14,000 in debt to just the IRS. And then, I've got Department of
Best of
Revenue
luck,
from the
soldier.
state that
The
I was,
folks back home are counting on
owed
you.
money to, and just, it's so stressful just to bring it up, man. But I've come a long way, and that's what I think is going quite unnoticed. I've put in a hell of a lot of work.
Pulling ahead.
But when you're starting over,
Hostile attack helicopter inbound.
going back to square one,
Hostile care package inbound.
it takes time. Time. That's the one thing none of us seem to have enough of.
Lethal out.
People truly want to see their loved ones do well. If that is indeed a true desire, then these people need to consider it,
Multiple
come up
enemy
with
spy
better
plane
solutions
contacts.
other than, hey, here's an ultimatum. Instead of sitting back and getting angry, and I hate to say it, but grown-ass people talking shit like children. Instead of doing that, why not slow the fuck down, take a deep goddamn breath, and consider reality? We still need help. 100% still
Hostile
need
spy
help.
plane established overhead.
Proximity mine neutralized. Neutralize enemy gas mine.
Ooh, I almost got in there. Dude, I was all over that.
Enemy RCXD detected.
Goddamn friendly. Planting gas mine.
Oh, shit.
Enemy care package above. Hostile sentry turret active.
I don't know. Personally, because I would never fuck over family. It's just not how I'm built. I would find solutions.
Enemy sentry turret detected in your AO. Enemy spy plane inbound. Enemy RCXD detected.
That's
Hostile
just
care
me,
package
though.
inbound. Hostile spy plane established overhead.
That's just me. I look at my family as like my team. You know, those are my people, right? I gotta take care of everybody. Every last one of us. This is what it takes. Man. This is why I'm not a huge fan of these high zoom fucking
Enemy
weapons.
spy plane inbound. Sit rep, napalm strike inbound. Failure is not an option. Don't let the Ruskies win.
Jesus Christ, really? You're fucking hiding right there?
Approaching PONR. Complete the mission.
All right, you got this. Keep it together.
Withdraw. Withdraw. The Reds have got us beat.
This
Whatever.
sure as hell ain't the outcome we planned for.
My rant's over. I just don't care anymore. The biggest part of it is just fucking... If you're gonna sit here and you're gonna talk shit, you're gonna say things, and fucking say them to the people that you need to say them to.
That spy plane.
You know, don't fucking put me in a position where I've got to be the one to deliver the message, and then I turn into the asshole. It's just not right, you know. And I hate being there. I hate that that's what's being done. Grown-ass fucking people who have these feelings that just don't want to say them. You know, so then I've got to be the one to be like, hey, maybe let's stop doing this because it's causing issues. Well, you guys might not be hearing it. I'm fucking hearing it. And I don't think it's right. I don't like hearing it. I don't agree with it. But it's impacting me because I'm the outsider. I'm the outsider. You know? Like I said, I don't really have anybody having my back. I got my wife. That's it. I kind of feel like I'm probably better off literally just living in the woods in a fucking camper. Because I'm strong enough to do it. And I don't necessarily need the luxuries of life. You know, my kids would benefit from, you know, having somewhere comfortable to be every night before they rest up and go to school the next day. But hey, you know, we all struggle, right? It's all comparable, right? Because that's where I'm at. I need to save because I can't afford to rent. And that's what I can't drive home. You know, I can't afford to rent. I can't have people over because people are going to talk. Oh, well, their kids are so loud. And then you throw another one in the mix and it's even louder. Instead of saying that to me,
We're taking control.
it gets said to people on the phone. At which point in time, I then have to be the one to bring it up, you know, and
We're losing this fight.
bullshit. It's fucking bullshit. I shouldn't have to, just as much as the next person shouldn't have to. Man, I'm fucking already sick of this game. I'm already sick of talking about this shit.
Tango removed.
Sick of the thought that I have to deal with it. You know, people can't just be adults and say, hey, I don't want this to happen. But from what I understand, they're like, oh yeah, it's fine, go for it, do this. And then you find out later that, no, it wasn't fine. You didn't want that. Because I heard your conversation that occurred elsewhere. You know, not that I'm trying to listen in on you, but yeah, I fucking heard it. No, I don't agree with what you're saying, you know? Yeah, I get it, my kids are loud. Who fucking who? They're kids. Get over your ass.
Spy plane available for tasking.
Spy plane inbound.
Coming flashbang.
Multiple enemy spy
All
plane
the armor
contacts.
available. Sentry turret available.
Sentry turret operational.
Enemies destroyed your sentry turret.
Hostile Molotov.
Did they succeed at taking out my sentry turret? They did. They got it.
Hostile
Watch your fucking
RCXT
fire!
in your AO. This isn't working. We're
Okay.
behind. We're taking control. Enemy care package above.
Throwing granada.
We've lost the lead. We've pulled ahead.
Throwing frag.
We're pulling ahead. Покажите им класс. Enemy sentry turret detected in your AO.
Machine shot down. Enemy flashbang. TACOM. Targets requesting spy
Artillery
plane.
targeting detected. Artillery inbound. Enemy cruise missile launch detected. Hostile care package inbound. Any mission, anytime, any place.
All hostiles eliminated.
Anywho's, I pray to God for all of you who do watch, who do care. You never have to deal with the shit that I am dealing with, have been dealing with. Pray to God that He blesses you with His grace. Doesn't beat you down every day, whether through the experiences that He thinks you need or through the people around you, which it can be both. You know, sometimes it's not God, sometimes it's the devil just throwing tests at you, see how you're going to handle it. If you're going to give in to temptation and struggle, don't. Just don't. You know, life is hard enough. I don't think people should be going out of their way to make it any more difficult on anybody. It's sad that people do. You know, it breaks my heart because when I have love for somebody, right, and trust for somebody, it's like it's one of those never-ending things. People just have to stop and really pay attention. I mean, really think about it these days. If you agree to help somebody, and I mean, they're very upfront and very honest with you, and they tell you, you know, hey, it's going to take me a couple of years because the ultimate goal is this. And you say, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. We trust in you guys. And those people follow that blueprint that was laid out to you. You know, hey, it's going to take maybe 2.5 years. Ideally, it won't. Ideally, it won't, but we'll see. You know, it's going to take time, 1, to obtain the new job, 2, to pay the debt, and then 3, to build the savings. You know, those are the first 3 steps in the whole process. And once that's done, then it's time to go to that mortgager. You know, because once the debt's paid, once the once the job is obtained, the debt can be paid, and once the debt's paid, credit score will improve, which for me it has tremendously. And then, you know, once that slate's clean, then the savings is built, the credit's back on track. You know, you still have to maintain full-time employment for a certain period of time before you can get approved to rent. You know, that's step 1. That's just to rent. Right now, they're demanding 3 years consistent full-time employment. 3 years. You know, I don't even have 1. You know, I don't understand what, you know, putting the pressure on right now, what you actually think is going to be achieved there. Because you're putting pressure on, you're creating anxiety, and I'm going out to do a job that's extremely dangerous. You know, if I lean on the wrong fucking thing, I'm dead. Then that plan is shot. You know, stressing me out is a horrible idea. Because the cost that can occur. especially when I'm following that format, that same blueprint. I obtained the job. I've sunk my teeth in. I'm clawed in. I ain't let go. No matter how brutal it's been and how little I'm making right now, I'm in my first year. I'm paying my dues. I get it. So I got that job and I'm paying that debt. I'm building that credit score back up. Give me the time. The savings will be there. The employment history will be there. The improvements all the way around in my financial situation will be there. And I'll be able to get a house. And you'll bet your bottom fucking dollar that when it comes time to celebrate, you'll be part of that celebration. I'll be able to tell people, hey, I couldn't have done this without these two individuals. Because other people who are, well, my parents, my dad was in much better position to help. A far better position than anybody else in this family. And I personally just, my wife, even just the man is selfish. My dad chose to basically tell me to fuck off because he values his material things over his family, and he's always been that way. I mean, for as long as I can remember, it was the TV. And then after the TV, it became the computer. And then after that, it became the Mustang, and then the next Mustang, and then I don't know. That was a midlife crisis that spiraled out of control, and it's that's a tough part of life for me. I used to idolize that guy. He was my hero, and I mean, now he values material things over human life, the humans that he created. It's sad, but that's the reality, and I can't change it. I can't change it, and he's so lost that he actually tries to use God to hide behind that. But hey, I mean, that's a celebration he's missing out on. When that time comes, that's a sin and a cross he'll bear. That's I don't wish it upon him. It's just the decisions that he has consistently made. He has always put himself and his personal material things before everybody. Thinking back, like I can remember my mom fucking broke her foot or sprained her ankle or something. Her foot was purple and blown up, like, and he just left her at home. Like fuck you, like not my problem. And she's blind. She can't just hop in a car and drive and go to the hospital and get that looked at. He just left her. I mean, and that's where I come from. That's why I am the way that I am. Like, I'm honest 100%. I don't have anything to hide. I don't need to tell a lie. I make sure to live my life in a pure manner so that I don't have that feeling. That's the worst feeling to have, and it's the worst thing to do. And I've lied to people when I was much younger, but at this point in my life, I've already crossed that bridge, and I already know way better than that. I know hard work pays off, and that's what I'm doing. And I want to be able to celebrate that success in the end when when I achieve the goal, when I reach that finish line, and I can say, hey, look at this house. This is going to be mine. I'm making a payment on it. Rather than paying the rent, I'm paying less in mortgage. And I'll pretend, I'll say, hey, you know what? I'm going to treat it like it's rent. Paying myself rent. I'll pay the additional $400 a month, $450 a month that it'll take for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house. I'm going to pretend that I'm renting it. I'm going to pay my mortgage company that $2,200 a month, or I guess that would be like $800 more, $2,000 a month, whatever. I'll pay more. I'll do it. that way, so that in the end I end up owning it sooner, so that I'll respect it more, and I'll be able to sit back and say it's because of these people, because of their they believed in us. Somebody finally, for the first time in my life, actually sat down, listened, found solutions, worked with me for that time that I need. And they helped us reach this goal. Couldn't have been done without them. They were selfless. They helped. And those people can sit back and be proud that, hey, yeah, look, these young people, our family that we love, we believe in, we helped them reach this goal. And look at them. We're proud of them. You know, people lost sight of that. I think the mass majority of people lost sight of that, how important that is in everybody's life. At some point in yours, somebody was like, wow, I'm proud of you. You know, my generation, we don't get told that. We don't hear that. So you just struggle and struggle and struggle, and the only thing people want to do is try to tell you how to do it better, and they have no fucking clue because like it's not similar to what you did in the past. The past is gone. We live in a present. Like it's $5 a gallon of milk. It's $5 a gallon of gas. You know, I mean, you go to the fucking store and a flat of chicken wings is like $30. I can remember my mom making Hooters wings at least once a month when I was a kid in the 90s. And I remember looking at the price on those packages of chicken wings, and it was like $8. Chicken was always cheap. Like a pack of cutlets, like a family pack, it'd be like $5. I can remember my dad giving my mom a $50 a week budget for a family of 5 for us all to eat dinner and lunch and breakfast. And she'd take that $50 and it'd be almost a full cart. You go to the grocery store and fill a cart today, you're going to spend at least $500. You know, back then, you could fill the tank of a gas car for like $20. I just filled my tank. It cost $93. 93 fucking dollars to fill a minivan. I mean, what the fuck? How have we gotten this far out of touch? And I understand it. People are just frustrated. Everything is expensive. Money's not going as far as it used to. Again, remember, that's why I'm in the boat I'm in. I had a great job, but that's not enough these days. You got to have a phenomenal job. I finally got that, but you pay your dues in the industry I jumped into, and that's all I can say. You pay your dues. There are people that got hired. I know a family member got hired at Dillard's for $18 an hour. That's more money than I'm making doing the dangerous shit that I do. What I do is dangerous as fuck, if not done properly. You gotta have a clear mind every day you go into that. That's why I say it's the most comparable to the military and law enforcement, for first responders in general. I mean, you've got to have that clear, level head. You know, if you're stressed, you got to just you got to be able to separate from it. So having that anxiety of, you know, holy shit, I don't even have a year's employment and these people are trying to push me out, like, rather than saying, hey, you know what, this is different than I thought it was going to be. It's rougher, it's harder for us. We're going to need some kind of something out of it. We agreed on this, so let's modify that original agreement. And we want a little bit more out of this. All right, fine. That'll work. We can figure that out. Let's come up with a solution. rather than send me off thinking, all right, you only got some X amount more months and then you guys are fucking out. Like, all that does is put me in a very, very high level of anxiety because, like, I didn't want to do this to begin with. My wife wanted to do this because she loves these people that much. She wanted to come home. She wanted to be close to them. She told me she had this conversation. It's going to take maybe 2.5 years. Hopefully not. Hopefully not. But certain things need to be done before we can pull the trigger and go. Because the idea is, the goal is, pull that trigger, go, and not have to come back. Not have to ask for help. You know, I mean, we've done it. It's doable. Times are really fucked right now. I was making good money. Very good money. Best money I ever made. I was damn good at what I did, and I loved doing it. Until, you know, certain situation had occurred that it made it very scary for me. I never thought of that scenario, and you know, they went through situational awareness, but they never covered topics like that. You know, hostage-esque situations. When you really think about the situation I was in, that's kind of, you know, I was in fear of my life. I had to make decisions that could have impacted my ability to walk out of a room. You know, they didn't talk about that. They didn't even make it clear that that could happen. It was all like, oh, you might see things on devices that you need to report, or situations inside of a domicile that you're in that you might need to intervene in a way where it's like, you know, oh, I need to do this work by this kid that's in danger after I send a text out and have somebody else get law enforcement involved or whatever. Like, I need to be here to ensure the safety of this individual or whatever. I never thought that I would be trapped into a room at gunpoint. I didn't think that would happen. I didn't think that our country would get flipped upside down, that people would be burning cars in the streets and raiding the Capitol and fucking doing the dumbest shit. I had more faith in this country and in the people that are here. Call me gullible, but I didn't see that coming. I didn't see that coming. You know, I didn't see an audit for a mistake, for unpaid or underpaid taxes hitting me with compiled interest from 2018. You know, that's how a few $1,000 mistake, not even mistake, just mess up, I guess we'll call it a mistake. Just a few $1,000 mistake turns into tens of thousands of dollars. You got years and years and years of compiled interest. By the time you pay it off, it's 2022. You've already got 4 years of compiled interest to pay. You end up paying twice what you were in for. You know, when you sit down, you do the math, you look at the documents, they're all there. They're all on legal paper. They're all from the legal source, the IRS, the Department of Revenue. You know, hey, you signed a fucking lease contract, and we want to stick you with the renovation costs, not because you left the place in a ruckus, but because you moved in and it wasn't remodeled yet, and you broke lease. So now you pay for that remodel, because legally we can do that. We can stick you with countertops, everything, new carpet, new flooring. We can stick you with that because you signed the document. You broke that document. And yeah, I did. I had to. I had to do it for my wife. One way or another, she was going to come home, right? Well, I love my kids, and I didn't want to be separated from them. I didn't want that to be the situation. I could have stayed in my industry and did a different job. It was offered to me. It would have been better money than I was making at the moment that I was making. It would have eliminated me having to enter domiciles and have never had to go inside a house again. Similar to what I do now. With way less risk. And, that opportunity just wasn't there. Because material possessions outweighed the value of family. That's why I just can't forgive certain people. I just can't. You know, I doesn't change the fact that I love you. But boy, are your priorities fucked. You know, I would never treat blood like that. I wouldn't. You know, as pissed off at you as I am, I still speak to you in a cordial manner, with respect, even though, let's face it, you don't deserve it. But it's what's right because it's what God wants. So I do it. You know, because I truly love God. And I truly understand. Sometimes the devil grabs a hold of people, and, you know, I'm confident you'll wake up one day. I'm confident. Just pray to God it's not too late. Just pray to God you actually take the time to hear, ask questions, understand the why. You know, why the situation was the way it was. It was out of fear. Every bit of it was out of fear. Exactly what you said was what was feared. And what you said was that these material possessions are held at a higher value to you than the safety and security and the belief in the blood that was in that room. The family. Anyway, that's the end of my rant. I'm done. I'm exhausted. My heart hurts. And again, I pray none of you guys ever have to experience what I've gone through, the struggle that I have. Because it's I don't know too many people that wouldn't have gave up by now. I really don't. I know people who really, really gave up because of situations like this. People who have turned to drugs for situations that are less stressful. You know, people that have made the wrong decisions thinking that, you know what, the quick gain is worth the risk. And right now, I feel like I don't have any other choice. And they make that decision, and it bites them. That devil's on my shoulder too, and he's whispering in my ear, same as you. Believe me when I say it. Believe me. But I am confident. I am confident somebody's gonna wake up. Somebody's gonna say, you know what? This motherfucker is working his ass off. He is keeping his word. This is the criteria that they're up against because it's not 1980. You can't just go, hey Joe, my name is this, and I want to rent your property. Here's my money down. Okay, I'll be back this time next month. It's not how it works these days. It's not. There's rent to own doesn't exist anymore because you got everybody leaving Chicago, New York, fucking all these northern states, selling their houses that aren't worth, in my eyes, $100,000, and they're coming down here after selling those $100,000 houses for $800,000 because it's in those states where everything costs so damn much. And they're coming down here and they're buying these houses. And just in the 8 months that I've seen, the housing market has gone from having houses from $250,000 to now the minimum's like $400,000. You know, rent doesn't exist because of it. You got those people that see that rent to own, and they look at those houses and they say, hey, I'll give you 250 grand cash, cashier's check. Obviously certifiable funds. I'm not going to hand you that much cash without some kind of contract or paper trail, but you're going to have that value in cash that you can access the same day that we make this transaction. And I just want that. I want what you have. I want your land. I want your house. A lot of those rent to owns are old properties out here that might be an acre, acre and a half, might be a trailer, but you know what? With an acre and a half, I can live in that trailer, build a house out behind it or in front of it, and then get that trailer dragged the fuck off here. And I can do it within that $800, $900 million budget from the house I just sold up north. I can do that. That's why when you look, and you open the paper, you don't find any rent to owns. You don't find anything like that anymore. Those are the most vulnerable. Those are the quickest, hottest sales. You got house builders that would normally build in subdivisions that are buying those houses because that area is slated to be revamped. The neighborhood I live in, I grew up in, it's one of those places. They're buying the houses, developers are. They're buying the houses, knocking them down, and leaving the land empty. And they're doing it strategically. They're buying main roads. Because once they do that, they can start building these bigger, modern homes, attracting higher, wealthier people that are going to pay $350,000, $400,000 for a house. And then all those surrounding small roads, the side roads, their property tax is going to go through the fucking roof, homesteaded or not. When you live in a low income area and you skyrocket the value like that, those people aren't going to be able to afford to live there anymore. To throw on top of it the fucking cost of food, gas, your power, because your power is impacted by fossil fuels, because everybody wants to buy an electric car and tax the grid more, so now we got to use more fossil fuels to produce. All of that math equates to chasing away the poor. Chasing them away. Buy the land is step one for them. There's processes, there's steps. And boy, are they taking them. I see it happening. I see it happening. There are so many houses out here that got scooped up by builders. Your Laniers. These cookie cutter home builders. It used to be cookie cutter trailers. Now it's going to be cookie cutter home builders. The problem is $400,000. Like, that's ridiculous. It's beyond ridiculous. Things are way out of control. And there's going to be an economic collapse. I can feel it. I just know it. We are in a worse position than we were before the recession. The Great Recession. We're on that scale, man. It's tipping. It's tipping. And they keep doing everything that's in their power to artificially prevent it. But eventually robbing Peter to pay Paul isn't going to work anymore. And then we're fucked. And that's when I'll capitalize. That's when I'll capitalize. That's when the things like, oh, gotta have this kind of history. You gotta make this much. That $400,000 house suddenly just became $150,000. So they're gonna be desperate to offload them all to get their asses out of debt. When everybody becomes desperate to eat, that's when I'm going to have to strike. That's when the iron's going to be hot. You know, when the interest rates are so fucking low because the banks are dealing with foreclosures out the ass because people mortgaged houses at $400,000 that just dropped in value to $150,000. They ain't gonna want to pay $400,000 for a house that's only worth $150,000 now. People aren't gonna want to do that. I don't care how beautiful that home is. People are gonna be like, "Wait, this motherfucker's only worth this much now?" No. Remortgage. Oh, you won't? Well, now I'm stuck. Now I'm trapped. Now I'm buried. I'm upside down in something that doesn't even deserve to be upside down. It's just that's how artificial everything is. Use logic, people. Use logic. I'm ending this rant. I said I was going to end it like 3 times already, but I'm ending it because I can go for days. I can give these examples, and I just pray people pay attention. You know, I get it. There's stress all the way around. You know, people don't want to hear noise anymore because their head hurts. They're just sitting down, trying to enjoy some television, trying to escape the reality we're in. And it's brutal. It's sad. It's scary. But let's not all go taking it out on one another. Now's the time for us to band together, even tighter than ever before. Much love to everybody. You guys have safe nights. Have good weekends. Love your family. Hug your family. Because tomorrow is not guaranteed. Good night, everybody. God bless.